All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with the program. You're watching Morning Cafe. Do interact with us on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube, on X at TV47 Digital. And you can tag me as well at @Dide. Now, when was the last time you heard about the common market for Eastern and Southern Africa? That is Comesa. Kama ulisikia kitambo like me, then that is what you're talking about this morning. That is the Africa's largest regional economic community. I have with me in studio Tobias Odongo, Comesa focal point, to talk to us about the 24th Comesa Summit that is set to take place from the 7th to 9th of October this year at KICC here in Nairobi. Karibu sana to studio, Tobias.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, how are you feeling?
I'm quite well.
All right.
Yes.
Let's get right into it. Comesa,
yes.
Like I've said,
yes.
This is something that we don't talk much about. And the last time Kenya played host to Comesa was in 2007. That is 18 years down.
Yes.
Now, looking at it, 18 years down the line, what has changed now that we're going to host it in 2025?
Thank you very much, Anne. Things have changed from 2007 up to now. Mm-hmm. Because remember that, as you said, that is close to 18 years.
A decade.
So that is a lot of time, mm-hmm. and a lot has changed in terms of the membership of Comesa. Mm-hmm. The membership have increased. And by the time of 2007, mm-hmm. the membership was not what it is today, mm-hmm. as there are 21 member states mm-hmm. which are there. So the volume of trade also has increased. Mm-hmm. The population also has increased. Mm-hmm. The population encompassing the whole Comesa region has also increased. Mm-hmm. Now, right now, we are talking of 640 million people with a close to a GDP of 1 trillion. So that, as things have really changed in that framework.
All right.
Yes.
Now, to break it down for a viewer and for somebody yes. who maybe didn't have the privilege of, going through everything that Comesa is all about, because we've heard about SADC, EAC, ECOWAS, now you're talking about Comesa. Yes. What is Comesa in simple terms?
Yeah, Comesa, in simple terms, is a common market for Eastern and Southern Africa. Mm-hmm. This is a configuration that started in the way back in 1981. Mm-hmm. First, it started as a preferential trade area mm-hmm. for Eastern and Southern Africa. Then it changed, the name then changed to Comesa mm-hmm. in 1994. Then it was decided that it becomes common market for Eastern and Southern Africa. Mm-hmm. Then when it comes to the year 2000, all these arrangements were just supposed to eliminate mm-hmm. trade barriers which were there. Mm-hmm. As much as we are many countries in Africa, mm-hmm. what normally happens is that we have our authorities, mm-hmm. our governments, and therefore trading was a bit difficult, and therefore there must have been a framework that was to allow trade to flow, and that is why they decided to come up with a preferential trade area, mm-hmm. so that we can be able to reduce the non-tariff barriers, tariff and non-tariff barriers, so that people can trade. Mm-hmm. The autonomies which we have were not, therefore, those days were not flexible to allow trade to flow. Mm-hmm. Therefore, when we decided to reduce the trade barriers mm-hmm. for the trade to flow, that allowed mm-hmm. trade to started flowing, because with barriers we cannot be able to trade. Right. And for us to survive mm-hmm. as a region, we need to trade. Mm-hmm. So it was decided that we have a preferential trade area. Mm-hmm. Then when it came to the year now 2000, mm-hmm. then now Comesa then decided now we have a free trade area arrangement.
All right.
So in that case now they started now eliminating the trade barriers. Mm-hmm. So that is the framework we are still having today, mm-hmm. where now Comesa is trying to free the trade within the common market, so that we can be able to trade freely mm-hmm. within the region. So we're having ways of reducing the trade barriers mm-hmm. amongst ourselves. We are doing some arrangements and agreements on some of these barriers to trade, so that we can be able to trade freely mm-hmm. within the region.
All right.
Yes.
Now, being that this started so long ago, and we're talking about 1983, when Comesa started?
81.
1981.
Yes.
And looking at all these years, and you talk about Comesa being brought about to try and eliminate trade barriers.
Yes.
Then what are the hindrances to delivering on the plans of Comesa just to eliminate these trade barriers? Are we trading safely and successfully all these years now?
We've covered a lot of ground. So when it comes to trading freely and Comesa, now we are able to trade freely, though with some challenges which are there. Still we have non-tariff barriers in place, but we are working on eliminating the non-tariff barriers. Comesa came up with a program where now they wanted all the member states to come up with their strategies on how they are going to eliminate the trade barriers within themselves. So a lot has changed, and now we are able to trade more freely as a region.
All right. Now, Kenya is hosting this year, 2025. What does it mean for Kenya and for Africa? Let's not even say Africa only, but for East Africa, for instance. That is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda.
Yes, yes.
What does this mean for us?
Yeah, we are hosting the 24th Comesa Summit, starting from 6th to 9th. This is a big framework, and this is a big arrangement where now Kenya would be having so many events taking place within the summit period. Like first, on 6th, we'll be having what we call Comesa EU Horticulture Connect. This is an activity or a forum where Comesa traders on the horticulture are going to be connected with the buyers from Europe, EU. You know, most of the horticultural produce are taken, we export them to Europe. So the Comesa are having arrangement where now they are going to connect the buyers in the region with the sellers in the region with the buyers in Europe. So that is going to take place on the 6th during the Comesa summit period.
Okay.
So this is a good framework because the buyers are going to be connected with the sellers, and therefore the challenges which they've had, which hinders maybe the horticultural trade, are going to be solved in this forum. When that happens, now the decisions which they are going to come up with in that forum shall also be taken to the summit for deliberations. You know, the summit is the highest authority. So that is a good forum for Kenya, because as you understand Kenya, we do a lot of horticultural produce, and we also do a lot of selling a lot of our horticulture to Europe. And this is unique to the Comesa Summit because it is the first time that during the summit we are having such a forum. So that is key for Kenya. Then on the 7th, we then will be having a business forum. So the business forum is there, the business community with the region are coming together now to chart the way forward and to mitigate on the challenges which affects them. Also, we'll have panel discussions with the panelists. We'll be discussing on issues which affect them. And all their deliberations will also be taken to the summit. Yeah, because that is the highest authority. So there will be resolutions, and those resolutions will then be taken to summit for approval, and then we may be working around them to solve some, if there are problems, solve them. So that is also an event that is taking place during the summit. Then, come to 8th, we'll be having the Ministers of Foreign Affairs meeting. This Ministers of Foreign Affairs meeting is key because it deals with peace and security of the region. You understand the region where we're from is a little bit volatile. Therefore, that forum will be able to address some of these issues. It's a closed issue, and it will address those issues. The resolution also taken to the summit. Summit is the heads of states and government. Yes. Then on the 9th now.
The final day.
The final day.
All right.
That would then now be the summit. So this is now a meeting of the heads of states. Now it is for them to review the progress that they have made so far in Comesa from the last summit that was held last year in Burundi. So they review the progress and also chart the way forward, make resolutions, and give directions on the way they want the regions to move, the region to move. But also we'll be having the exhibitions running from 7th to 9th. So the exhibitions, the exhibitors, the region exhibitors will be coming. Kenyan's exhibitors will also be there to be able to exhibit whatever they are producing so that they connect with the buyers and also showcase what Comesa region can be able to offer in terms of production. Yes, so all these are going to take place during the summit.
All right, interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
And looking at it from the first day, the horticulture, farmers and agriculture being brought on board to just deliberate on the issues that they might have going on.
Yes.
Are you bringing them from across the country, from all the 47 counties? What are you doing to ensure that no farmer is left behind and that everybody is brought on board and their issues are heard?
Yeah, that is quite in order. You know, this is for the region. It's not only for Kenya, but actually our interest is Kenya as a country. And therefore, you know, the horticultural produce, they come from select counties, of which the select counties are around Nairobi. And these are the members, and they have their associations. So they'll bring on board at least everybody in that forum, so that they deliberate on issues which affect them. There'll also be a visit to the farm. Yes, because the EU buyers would also want to see how the products are being produced, the horticultural products are being produced. There is a planned visit to some of the farms which are close to Nairobi. Yeah, so everybody is included in all this.
All right.
Yes.
And this year's theme for the 24th Comesa Summit is leveraging digitalization, of course, to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. Why is digitalization such a focal point for you guys at Comesa this year? Yeah, it is important when because Comesa is coming to Nairobi, and that we understand Kenya, we are a champion, particularly on the digital sector. And therefore, when this theme was being coined, what we first agreed on was that digital part, because it's key for us as Kenya. So we looked at digitalization as a key driver to economic growth within the region. Because if we leverage on digitalization, then we'll be able to cover a lot of grounds in terms of dealing with the regional integration, which we are working on, particularly on Comesa. You know, we deal with regional integration. Digitalization can help us fight even the non-tariff barriers we are talking about. Digitalization would support us when it comes to issues on agriculture. Yeah, you remember these days you can even use your app to get a lot of information, even on the weather issues, on the market issues and all that. So that can be done digitally. And also we're bringing on board everybody. Everybody would mean include the youth. You see our youth always with their phones, they communicate with that. That is the digital we are talking about. If you can use that information commercially, it will really be beneficial. Then it would make our youth also be innovative, because you can even be innovative to create an app that can support some of these economic activities, which is also very important and very good. So that is why the theme talks of leveraging on digitalization to deepen a regional value chain for sustainable and inclusive growth. It's very important, that theme. So I like it. Because it really resonates well with Kenya. How do you foresee the reception of that? Do you foresee member states of Comesa really just embracing this digitalization? I understand that Kenya, we are very passionate about going digital. But looking at all these other 21 member states, is this something that you foresee each and every country and region embracing? Yeah, globally, digitalization is a key driver of economic growth. It's a trade facilitation. So therefore, we are seeing them embracing it because which other choice do they have if they don't go digital? Yeah, so they will have to do things digitally because that is where the world is going. So me, I'm seeing the region embracing our theme, and they will be able, if we able to implement it and achieve some of these, we will be moving as a region
so in the right direction. Yes.
You have something that you're coming up with, that is the Comesa digital retail payment system.
Yes.
How does that make cross-border business faster and cheaper?
It will be, it's a very nice idea.
All right.
Just like we're using our M-Pesa here. If now I buy something, maybe, for example, from Zambia, then I pay digitally. I can pay using my Kenyan shillings here. But then the receiver of the money in Zambia would get it in Kwacha. You're saying? So that would fasten the trade. So we will be no transactions like the exchanging of money here and there. So that works well for the region. That is a very good idea and a good project Comesa is coming up with. Yes.
All right, and I have a question in here for you.
Yes.
And they're asking, you're talking about non-tariff barriers, which of course are hindering trade.
Yes.
So what are you going to do to remove these obstacles, the non-tariff barriers?
The non-tariff barriers.
Yes.
Non-tariff barriers is challenging because, as told you, they're your car. You'll be able to eliminate one today, then another one is created the following day. So sometimes you cannot be very sure on how you are going to remove it. But we try always the times to eliminate. Like Kenya, we have a committee which meets quarterly to look at the non-tariff barrier. Even for the region, we have a committee that looks at non-tariff barriers. We have also quarterly meetings to be able to try to eliminate some of these non-tariff barriers. That's the way actually we are dealing with the non-tariff barriers. As I told you, they're your car, and you cannot be able to eliminate non-tariff barriers per se. But, and I also told you, Comesa also came up with a strategy which they wanted all the member states to adopt. You come up with your strategy on how you're going to eliminate non-tariff barriers that affects trade, that affects you, or that you also create. You know, non-tariff barrier is cross-cutting. It comes, I can do it, and the other country can also do it. So that is why we're coming up with strategies to eliminate non-tariff barriers. There's a framework that Comesa has put in place for that.
Right.
So that is promoting, to promote trade quite a lot.
All right, thank you so much, Njeri, for that particular question on how to eradicate the non-tariff barriers. Keep interacting with us on our socials, TV47 Kenya, Facebook, and on YouTube. And just to sample a few of your feedback as we continue with this conversation on the 24th Comesa Summit to be held from the 6th to 9th of October at the KICC Nairobi. John Silonko is saying, morning to it's John kutoka Magadi. Thank you so much for watching. And we also seeing Robert Keleweke anasema Shukufu, well represented. Asante sana for being here. Now, there's always a concern that some of, as conferences like this ones, very big declarations or major declarations are made during such conferences. Then some of these declarations don't really turn out into clear action. So what do you intend to do with Comesa that every declaration that is going to be made during this period from the 6th to the 9th of October this year that are going to turn into real action? And not just, you know, things that are being said just once and then they leave it at that. Yes.
Thank you very much. You understand it is Kenya, after the summit, will be taking over the chairmanship of Comesa. You understand Kenya, we are very proactive people. And even our top leadership are very proactive. So it all depends with the leadership of this configuration. But now for Kenya, the declarations which are going to be made, I look at it like I look at it like Kenya now, and I see us trying to implement most of these declarations, headed by our top leadership. You know, our top leader, we are a little bit aggressive, and therefore, if a declaration is made, I know it will not be on paper, but it will be implemented fully. To implement, to also to be able to support the region in those areas, and also Kenya in particular. Yeah, because Kenya is proactive and they are interested in some of these activities. But going by the theme, the declarations which are going to be made will be surrounded by our theme, which is on digitalization. So, and you know how keen we are when it comes to issues digitalization. We want to digitalize everything. We want to digitalize even your procurement systems. We want to digitalize all our payment systems. And if that is our aim, I believe all the declarations which we're going to have will be implemented fully as a country, or for the betterment of the region. Yes.
All right. We've talked about how this will mean to Kenya and, of course, the region as well, being that we are the host this year.
Yes.
But you mentioned something about we are going to take up the chairmanship of the Comesa block this year. Then what does that mean for Kenya? If, you know, the chairman of Comesa, if we talk about Comesa in general, and we're looking at it that the chairman is the president of Kenya, then what does that mean for Kenya?
Yeah, it means that as Kenya, we are going to be able to drive the policy of Comesa and chart the way forward for the region, which is a good thing for us. Because now we can be able to influence what happens within Comesa and influence it to drive maybe some of our interests as a country. So that means a lot to Kenya as a country and also to the region. Yes.
All right. And I understand that also you're trying to focus more on the SMEs and to bring them on board.
Yes.
And we've seen and done reports about SMEs in the country, which of course are the backbone of this economy, are still quite reluctant in adopting digital platforms. And if you're talking about payment schemes such as M-Pesa, they're very reluctant on this. So I do not know how they're going to be convinced of that through this forum. I know we're talking about the region, but we're looking at it from the Kenyan perspective. But if you're talking about embracing e-commerce and digital payment systems, then how does Comesa intend to help these SMEs just to incorporate this system into their small businesses?
Comesa has done a lot when it comes to SMEs because they have tried a lot to capacity build them, to support them in so many ways, particularly women. We have programs specifically for women, which we call, there's a program which runs, which we call the Comesa Federation of Women in Business. They're a very active organization. We have at the Kenyan chapter. It's addressing the women issues, or the small women traders issues in that kind of forum. This is meant to capacity build them and also to incorporate them into the economy by supporting them to do businesses. So we have the Kenyan chapter. They're the ones who are, as we speak, are planning to exhibit a lot in the exhibition booths. If you'll be going there on the 8th, those booths you'll find mostly, I'm not sure, but you'll find somehow women who might be a number, and the youth will also be there, the youth agenda. Because the last week, I remember there was a forum for the youth, organized by Comesa in Busia, purely for the youth. Yes. So I know Comesa are doing a lot of capacity building, particularly for the youth, in that kind of framework, so that they are brought on board. And you look at our theme is talking of inclusivity. So this is what Comesa is trying to do, and this is what our theme is also trying to address, so that everybody is brought on board. We move together, all of us, as a region. Because if you left, you know, the youth is quite a population, even in Kenya, even within the region, even globally. So the interests of the youth always taken care of by all these configurations in Africa or globally. Yeah, because they are key stakeholders and a big stakeholder for that matter. Yes.
All right. With me in studio, I have Tobias Odongo, a Comesa focal point, speaking to us about the 24th Comesa Summit that will be held from the 6th to 9th of October this year. That is next week, right?
Yeah, next week.
We're taking a very short break at this point. You're coming back with this conversation. Stay with us. You're watching Morning Cafe.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's minds. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on
All right, welcome back. You're watching Morning Cafe. This morning, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the upcoming 24th Comesa Summit that will be held at the KICC here in Nairobi, starting from the 6th of October to 9th of October. And with me in studio, I have Tobaso Dongo, Comesa Focal Point, to tell us everything we need to know about the summit and, of course, Comesa in general. Now, we do understand that the CFTA, that is the African Continental Free Trade Area, is here. It came up after Comesa just to also try and make trading easier for all in the continent rather. So what can we now do as member states of Comesa to fully leverage on that opportunities and the market that we are getting from CFTA?
Thank you very much. And I think AfCFTA is a very good idea that came through the African Union. It is a project under the African Union Agenda 2063. So Comesa fits into AfCFTA well. It makes AfCFTA function because these are the building blocks that would make AfCFTA succeed. You know, in Comesa now, we are a free trade area. So that means we've done some harmonization of policies. We are able to trade, things are working. But for AfCFTA, it built into the continental trade now. So when Comesa achieves its objective, AfCFTA would also achieve its objective because ultimately we want to build a one Africa free trade area. That is AfCFTA. So for Comesa, is one of the building blocks that would make AfCFTA succeed. They are not in any way competing, they are complementing one another. So that these other regional economic communities, be it EAC, be it Comesa, be it ECOWAS, they fit into AfCFTA. So these are the configurations that are going to make Africans to trade more amongst themselves. That will increase intra-African trade, which is still at very low percentage. But if we be able to get into actually succeed and achieve full objectives of AfCFTA, we'll not have some of these challenges we are faced with. Our people would not be able to sleep hungry in particular country in Africa because we can be able to trade freely and everybody would then benefit. So Comesa complement AfCFTA. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And looking at this trade within the region and the bloc, we've heard of cases where transport and, just around the port, transport corridors and the port as well, has been quite a bottleneck to trade.
Yes.
And looking at this summit that is coming up from the 6th to 9th of this month, do you have any plan to fast track on logistical improvements to make it easier for trade to take place within the region?
Yeah, I don't think there could be any summit with no resolution passed on the issues on transport, on logisticals for that matter. So transport is key because transport facilitates trade. There's no way you can be able to trade if there are no roads, there are no airlines moving across Africa. So every summit tries to address issues on infrastructure. Yeah, the issues on infrastructure must be there. So the solutions on issues on infrastructure always will come up when we are handling issues. Are we coming up with policy directions on issues on or during the summit? They always would have an issue to do with the infrastructure and particularly the transport for that matter. Because transport is really a major component of trade. It really facilitates trade. Because you could have your commodity here, but if you cannot be able to transport it to a particular place to search for market, then you'll not be able to trade. You remain with your commodity. And therefore, one such factor that actually made these regional configurations or regional economic community to be formed was to deal with the issues on infrastructure. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You've mentioned something quite interesting, that there is no summit that will end without resolutions. And
Yes.
that being said, with infrastructure and transport being one of them,
Yes.
what are some of those further resolutions aside from transport that we should expect by the end of this summit on the 9th of October?
As I told you, all these events, all these meetings I talked about, close to 3 of them, they fit into the resolutions which the summit is going to come up with. I told you, there are these issues which we're going to deliberate on 6th, on Comesa EU, Horticulture Connect, whatever the resolutions which are going to come there, they fit into the summit, the highest authority. Now there's to be some resolutions on that. Then if you come to the meeting of foreign affairs ministers, they'll deal with the issues on peace and security. All that also will be taken to the summit, so that a resolution is also made on that. If you come to on the 8th, on 7th, where now the business forum is there. That is now the core, because that is where the panelists will be able to discuss issues which are affecting the region when it comes to trade. And all those resolutions, the recommendations which they are going to come with, also will be also passed to the summit for a resolution. So there will be so many of those resolutions. As I told you, first the summit will review the progress from last year, what has so far happened, if there are the achievements which are there, where maybe there were no achievement and why, so that they make recommendations, further recommendations on what way forward. Then they also come up with the issues which are going to come for this particular summit, you see. So there will be a lot of solutions which can come up in any particular summit, not only for this, the 24th one, which we are talking about.
Looking at the theme, that is the focus being on digitalization, and you want to digitize how trade is done within the region. Cybersecurity is something that is a concern when we are going the digital way.
Yes.
So how do you intend to ensure that even if the region is going digital, that it's safe from fraud and also hacking as well?
And that is a very important question, and that question is a concern for the region and for even globally. There are those who are planning to hack the issue things and also to interfere with those kind of systems. But I think globally, the systems are being put in place to be able to address issues on the cybersecurity. Yeah, and the countries have come up with even some laws. Even I think in Kenya we have laws dealing with the cybersecurity, issues on cybersecurity. So that would be addressed legally at that point. But that doesn't mean that we don't need to go digital because of security issues. We deal with the security issues as they come. But I know, what I know for the region and even globally, cybersecurity is a concern and is being addressed, maybe legally or technically, by coming up with products or systems that can be able to deal with the issues on cybersecurity. Yes.
All right. And beyond that technology as well, say these businesses which are yet to incorporate digitalization in their businesses, of course. Do you intend maybe to bring in some training programs for the women in business and the youth in business as well? You mentioned something about the youth being digital savvy, which is true, but we cannot assume that each and every youth is digital savvy. Not everyone has the privilege to have a phone and the digital system. So do you intend to also come up with some training forums for women and youth?
Yeah, I told you that for Comesa we have Comesa Federation of Women in Business. And also we have also Comesa Business Council. Comesa Business Council are the ones we are now organizing the business forum. Yeah, so that is where all the issues on trading within the Comesa regions are discussed. This Comesa Federation of Women in Business, they are being capacity built. I told you there are chapters, country chapters, Even Kenya, we have a country chapter. All these 21 countries, they have a country chapter. So what happens is that Comesa organizes forums for them to be able to capacity build them on how they can be able to do business, and also how they're also being supported in some way so that they'll be able to do business. For the youth Comesa has been working with the youths all along. In all their programs, they must make sure that they include the youth. And this one involves their trainings. So the youth, as you understand also, when it comes to issues digital, most of the youths are digital. I hope you also understand that. Most of the youths are digital, going by what they've studied. You know, they've been from school just recently. They are able to operate most of these digital items or digital, like say mobile phone, like say computers. They are able to operate them. So they don't have a problem going digital. They maybe what you may say is that they don't have the capacity to own some of these gadgets, but they have the gadgets that they can support them to automatically go digital because they understand what it all means and how it can be supported. So Comesa, I think what Comesa is trying to do is just to support them so that they leverage on digitalization, make them understand that when you have a phone, it can not only serve you as a phone, but it can also serve you economically to improve your life. That's what they need. And that is also what women need. And that is why the Comesa are coming up with these configurations where they are able to support the youth. I told you there was last month there was a program which they had for the youth in Kenya, in Busia, which was also meant for capacity building the youth so that they'll be able to trade effectively and competitively, and maybe use the digital gadgets they have to support them to trade and also to earn a living. Yes.
Talk to us about public-private partnership, if at all it's something that you do align with.
Yes.
And do you see it in any way building the regional value chain when you're talking about Comesa and the summit as well?
Yeah, like in Kenya, you know, we have actually tried to integrate the public and the private sector to engage in even some of our projects. And that within the Comesa region is also something which is taking place, because Comesa sometimes supports some of the projects that which was meant for the public, because they're also having like, they're coming up with a simplified trade regime. Last month, we finalized a project in Moyale on the simplified trade regime. That is a project that the public could have done, but now Comesa came in to partner so that they be able to simplify the trade regime for the small traders so that they may be able to trade across the border between Kenya and Somalia. So that works. They also have projects on one-stop border posts that also take place in Moyale. The projects on one-stop border posts is also meant to facilitate the traders crossing the borders when they are trading. So that would have been done by the government, but now Comesa are coming up and trying to support that to facilitate trade. Are you seeing? So that is a kind of a partnership between the public and the private. Yes. All
right. And some businesses may worry about unfair competition. Of course, when borders open, when you talk about that free public-private partnership and, of course, regional value chain as well.
Yes.
And the concern now will be that how will this summit or Comesa in general now ensure that there is fair play and, of course, protect smaller businesses from being pushed out?
Yeah, true. And what I know, and that for business, if you are competitive and free, let the business free, people will then be able to adjust. And they will not be pushed out of the business. When you open up your borders, it would even open up business opportunities for all those who maybe you are saying they were to lose their businesses. Because when you open up the borders, the many people will be able to come to cross the borders for trading. And that will provide opportunities for some of those who are trading maybe in small quantities. Now when they see that the border is open and there are opportunities, and many traders are coming, they'll then realize that they are able to get more opportunities from the people who are coming. So what opening up the border is trying to address is to ensure that all of us benefit and traders are all incorporated. Because let's take, for example, trading between Moyale. I'm taking an example of Moyale border.
Okay.
So when Kenyans go to Moyale to trade, they take up the opportunities. Maybe they may go with the products which may remove some of the people from business. But when they are there, they come up with opportunity because they will go and sleep there, they will go and eat there, and they will also be moving around in that small town. So when they're moving around, they're using the facilities, the local facilities of that area. That brings up a lot of opportunities for the people who are in that region. So I look at it like when you open up the borders and people are able to move freely and trade freely, that brings a lot of opportunity. Then when you close, and now you only concentrate with the people who are there, that would not bring an opportunity because the opportunities remains the same. But a change is as good as a rest. When there are changes here and there, people tend to think, people tend to be innovative, people tend to be competitive. And that is what we need when it comes to trade.
All right, so it opens up opportunities for networking.
For networking also. Because you also make friends and you also try to understand one another, what others are doing. So that is a great opportunity that countries don't need to deny others to come in and get out.
All right. Yes. So say that there's maybe an investor watching us this morning and they could be wondering what incentives are you giving them? Say those in high potential sectors like horticulture, for instance, and these digital services. What incentives are they getting from this summit?
Good. I've just told you there are buyers who are coming from Europe. And also when they come, there's a market for them. And also, opportunity that's also going to be there. There are issues which are really the challenges which have been affecting that sector of horticulture. So those challenges, when this summit comes and these buyers come, and we have these forums, those issues will be addressed at that particular time.
You're talking about investors?
Yeah.
The incentives that you're giving investors?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
All right.
The investors who are coming in, okay, I get you. But what I wanted to tell you that there are a lot of opportunities that the summit is going to bring, particularly on that issue of horticulture. But for the investors, when they come here, they see how we produce the horticultural products. I told you they are going to visit farms. When they visit farms, they see other opportunities. Maybe some of them may be interested even coming to invest in the farming, horticultural farming, or horticultural sector in some way. But just by coming to Kenya and seeing what is happening in Kenya, how horticultural products are being produced, that is an opportunity in itself for them. Because the reason why they are coming is to see. Why are they seeing? They want network. They want to know what is happening. And that would give them opportunities to see areas where they can, of their interest in that sector, where they can then be able to invest. Are you saying that? Yes.
Very well answered now.
Yeah.
Now, as we wind up and come to the end of this conversation, what is this summit seeking to address? To summarize, you've talked about so many things, but for somebody who's watching and who's wondering, okay, all is said and done, then what are we looking forward to with this summit?
Wow, good. The summit is a great opportunity, particularly for Kenya, now that it's coming at this particular time, when we are going to take the leadership. As I told you, the summit will be addressing the challenges, the policy issues which affects the region. And normally all the summits do that. They address issues which affects the region. and give policy direction. So this summit is not strange in itself. It should be also be addressing the issues and giving the policy directions which would then drive this country forward for a whole 1 year, led by Kenyans at the top. So I'm not going to specifically tell you that this particular summit is going to address this particular issue. But what I know, the summit will give a policy direction going by the outcomes of all these other forums which are enumerated for you. So the outcomes of those forums, when they're brought to the summit itself, there will be a policy direction on the way forward and how they will be addressed. Yes.
Tobias, I want you to convince our viewer.
Yes.
And I want to simplify that question one more time.
Yes.
Convince them why they should look forward to this summit, 6th to the 9th of October. Tell them why. Of course, you've talked about a lot of things are going to be addressed.
Yes, yes.
But for the youth who is watching this morning, is hearing about this summit. But, you know, they're saying it is something that will just be talked about in those boardrooms and then it ends there on the 9th of October. Who is welcome to this summit on the 6th to 9th of October? And why should they attend it? As your final comment.
Thank you. And I think that is a very important question you are putting to me. I want to convince Kenyans that the summit is important for them. There will be a forum, particularly on the exhibition. And during the exhibition, I call upon Kenyans all to participate, register and participate. This is a registration system where you can be able to register to participate in the forum, register as to attend for the exhibition. When they come, they'll be able to do a lot of networking, as I told you. So the youth will be able to do a lot of networking and also to see the innovations which are within the region. Because those who are coming from the region to exhibit, they come up with products that we may not have had in Kenya, and they'll be able to see them. When you visit, you'll also be able to interrogate if the exhibitors to get their names so that they tell you where they're from, what they are selling. The exchange of contacts would happen there so that they'll know that I met somebody during the summit, Comesa summit. We exchanged contacts, and this guy was dealing in this sector, and I'm also interested in that sector. So that network is very important in business. So that network is one thing that I call upon Kenyans to participate, attend the summit, to get the network, to see what is happening within the region, and also to network amongst stakeholders within the region so that we get to know what is happening, and that can benefit you as an individual. So you register as an exhibitor. We welcome you to register as an exhibitor, and you also come and participate, particularly during the exhibition or the business forum for that matter, to listen to what issues which are affecting the region, regional trade, particularly on Comesa region, so that by listening to that, you'll see what issues are there within the region. Maybe as a trader, those could be some of the issues which are also affecting you. You see how people deliberate on them and whatever positions they are going to take, so that it can also help you, help your business, also help you as an individual to understand what is going on. As a business person, you do not need to close yourself. You need to be proactive and active, and also to be able to understand the global issues which affects the business and also the regional issues which affect the business. So all of us are welcome to come and participate. From 6th, you can come, register, participate in some of the business, some of these forums. Some of the forums are, as I told you, they are closed only for members and also for the top leadership. It might not require the public participation, public to participate, but for the business forum and the exhibition is open to everybody, so they can register and come and participate. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Tobias Odongo, for making time for us this morning and to tell us more about the 24th Comesa Summit. That is the Comesa focal point. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of this conversation. See you on the 6th to 9th of October next week. You're watching Morning Cafe. My name is Anne Odida. Good morning.